It's another day, the sun is shining. Got to know what's going on around you. Wake up, it's the time to motivate your mind. Come with me, let's make this moment brighter. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Come on and wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise. Wake up with the Bahamas at sunrise.
Good morning and welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
Good morning, TGIF. I'm Philip Simon.
And of course, it's our pleasure to be with you on this phenomenal Friday. We hope you're looking forward to an absolutely great day. We, of course, are looking forward to a wonderful show for you. But before we do that, Phil, how was the week?
Short, fast, quick, semi-productive, but all good.
Oh, good. And I just want to just point out me and Phil's coordinating shirts today. I just kind of feel like that deserves a special mention.
We're going to the canvas, we're going to pull out our paint brushes and...
Yeah, we should have been around these in the show at the National Art Gallery, but I guess that's probably got to happen at some point. I had a great week as well. It's been just a great week of growth and opportunity, and just looking forward to continuing to honor that as we enter the third quarter of the year. And it is October 1st. Sorry, the fourth quarter of the year. It is October 1st. I can't believe that it is. The year has come and gone. I'm telling my friends there's already Christmas in my books. I see that some of the stores already have all of the Halloween stuff out, the Thanksgiving stuff out, and I give them 3 more weeks before the Christmas things begin to roll out as well.
I heard Christmas music playing around this house like 2 weeks ago, nothing to do with the election, by the way, just playing in the background. And I'm like, wow, man, you got to be kidding me. It's still September, but you're right. Now it's October.
Yeah, so the time is certainly flying, and we hope that you're making the best of it. We hope to make the best of this morning, obviously. We've got a great show lined up for you. The Bahamas Association of Physiotherapists are here. They're going to be talking about Physiotherapy Month, and Edison Stern is also going to be joining us to give us his views on the way forward.
And of course, the Ministry of Education is back to talk about parental and stakeholder involvement. That means that's you. And we've got a portion of the Demystifying COVID webinar that was held this week.
I heard that webinar was exceptional. I heard Pastor Dave Burrows was able to also just shed some light on many of the religious sides of the challenges in this debate. And so really grateful for all that joined and just learned a bit more. Of course, TCL continues to bring you outstanding events, and we're very pleased to announce that Prime Minister, the Honorable Philip Brave Davis, is going to be the keynote speaker at the 17th Annual Abaco Business Outlook. And that's happening virtually on Thursday, October 14th. So that's just 13 days away now, since it's the 1st of October. And we're going to have some more details to follow. So just mark that date in your calendar, make sure that you set that aside, and we'll be bringing you some more details on that over the next few shows. But first, Phil, before we get into it, we're going to take a first look at weather with Godfrey Burnside.
Amen.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, guys, and good morning, Bahamas. In your first look at weather, sunrise, high pressure, north of the islands, will generate moderate to fresh breezes. Also, weak frontal boundary across central Florida will side south across Grand Bahama, Abaco, Bimini by evening. And we have swells associated with Hurricane Sam will impact the islands, resulting in hazardous beaching and boating conditions through the weekend. Today, variable cloudiness and breezy with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms, high temperature 80 degrees Fahrenheit. Tonight, partly cloudy to cloudy with a few showers, isolated thunderstorms, the low going down to 74 degrees Fahrenheit. And some region highs and lows across the Caribbean, Barbados 1979. In Jamaica, 87 and 77. In Trinidad, 1978. And the Turks and Caicos Islands, 89 and 74. Across North America, Atlanta, 86 and 65. In Raleigh, 79 and 58. In Miami, 89 76. Dallas, Texas, 78 and 69. And Toronto, Canada, 64 and 50. As you go to the weekend, mix of sun and clouds, but breezy. And there's a chance of a few showers, isolated thunderstorms. The temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s. At nighttime, in the mid-70s. That's what's wrapping your first look at weather sunrise. I'm going to go inside. Back to you, Phil.
Godfrey, today in our Focus on Education segment, we are talking about creating educational opportunities through parental and stakeholder involvement. Again, earlier I said that means this is all about you. Joining us this morning from Eva Hilton Primary School to discuss this are Mr. Jermaine Butler, Principal, Eva Hilton Primary, and Melissa Allen Maynard. She's the president of the PTA. We got them both up early, but they say this is just part of course, just usual. Good morning, Melissa. Good morning, Jermaine. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning, and good morning, Bahamas.
Morning, Bahamas.
All right. It's so good to see the president of a PTA and a principal of a primary school on together. That really says a lot about the partnership. But how did Eva Hilton Primary ensure that parents and community partners effectively engaged in learning opportunities that have been made available? Mr. Butler, let's start with you on that question. How did you guys make this happen in such a way that it appears to be happening?
Yes, so first of all, I would like to say on behalf of the Ministry of Education and of course the family of Eva Hilton Primary, thanks for having us this morning. Having a clear focus and reasonable goals and protocols set by the Ministry of Education, we decided on a plan of immediate collaboration. We made the expectations known to our partners, to parents, and of course our corporate sponsors. Meetings were facilitated rather quickly and consistently. We had checks and balances put in place to ensure that we were following what we needed to do, ensure that they were being carried out effectively, and improvements and corrections have been checked and looked at and tweaked and made better. There was a concerted effort to ensure that resources, both the natural and the human resources, were easily available. We ensured that the parents and the students alike were able to get into the ministry's learning portals in a seamless fashion as possible. And constant clear communication continues between the entities.
Yeah, it's excellent to hear. Melissa, you know, it's been a time, right? I mean, the last, year and a half plus, just been so many different happenings. And of course, the impact of COVID in general. Has this played a role, you think, in these types of partnerships? What got you personally involved?
Well, my daughter, of course, is 9 years old, and this is her going on her second year at Eva Hilton Primary School. And I said, I vow that I know that previously as a parent with my other kids, I was involved, but not that involved within the PTA. And I said, you know something, I want to afford her the same opportunities that my children had, and they were in private schools, but she's now in Eva Hilton, that she had as my other kids. And I put myself forward. And of course, I was elected as PTA president. And I vowed that I will give my 100 and have been doing 120% to get what is necessary for the students, administration, and parents of Eva Hilton Primary School.
I would love to think that this is normal, in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas and possibly around the world, but it's not always the case to have this type of apparently strong partnership. Jermaine, how has been this this partnership and the role that parents have been playing, particularly at Eva Hilton?
I would like to believe too that it begins with the leadership. And Madam and her team has been excellent. That is usually that's been the history of the school in terms of the PTA. And of course, they would have ensured, and the parents as well, that the students have the necessary devices. The learning spaces where we are engaging our students are, conducive to learning. Parents ensure that the assignments are completed. Students are present in the platform. Parents directly assist in providing school with donations of uniforms, devices, cash donation, physical presence, you name it. In the hybrid model, our parents helped us to get students in and out of schools every day. And we are well represented in the PTA meetings to the tune of 300 plus parents on average.
Yeah, wow, that is absolutely amazing. I guess I have to say congratulations again to Melissa and Maynard.
Yes. You're right, Simon. The PTA has been doing, and the team has been doing a tremendous job. We try to keep, it is cliche, but it is so true that it takes a village to raise an entire child. And that's what the parents, the administration, the teachers, and of course the support staff have been doing at Eva Hilton School. It is a collaboration. So it is much effect to the parents, of course, and administration.
So is there a template, right? I mean, nothing's perfect, right? But if you're having 300 plus parents attending a PTA meeting on a regular basis, is there some type of template that others can follow? And I don't want to call it maybe I do. Is there some secret to this success?
The secret to success is to keep the parents engaged, to know that, and to always let them know that you are part of your child's education. They have full access to teachers via various platforms, via Zoom, via they can WhatsApp them. They have groups. The PTA has a Facebook page. We have our number that you can call. You can let us know and field, and if you are able to assist with anything, whatever the school is needs. So we keep the parents involved in their children's educational platform.
Mr. Butler, I need to be addressing you guys, and particularly by your last names, especially if your students are watching, right? This sounds like a dream. It's not just a parent's dream to kind of be this intimately involved, but also for teachers and administrators. I imagine there are so many opportunities that can be taken advantage of when you have this type of involvement.
Yes, sir, there is. And I would like to say that one of the reasons why the school has been so successful, even in this new normal, is the fact that the expectations set by the parents, because they support us wholeheartedly, but also the expectation is there that we are going to help these children to perform and to succeed so well. And they're always there and present. Also, I don't know that we haven't spoken yet necessarily about the corporate sponsors and the corporate partners, yes, because they have been invaluable. Everything we have asked for, we have gotten. Everything, to the tune of thousands of dollars in donations of devices, and even the human resource itself. Everything we've asked for is there. And so they expect us to perform. And I think we've been doing that satisfactorily and a little bit above.
Oh, excellent stuff.
Yes, absolutely, Simon, because with no government can sustain any particular institution by itself. You need corporate Bahamas. You need other entities to help support that school. And one thing I can say is I would like to truly thank the corporate Bahamas for engaging us, for just being so openly with us. Just yesterday, we were able to, as you are aware, Literacy Month was just last month, and we partnered with Alive, and one of their corporate president came on, and she actually took time out of the day to actually read to the sixth graders. So we have partnership like this that is sustainable, that everyone is able to engage us, and we are our hands are open. So if you want to engage the PTA, the administration of Eva Hilton Primary School, we are there.
All right. Well, Mr. Butler, I'm going to give you the final word then. How do people who are listening, not just, they may have questions about how this thing works and how it works so successfully, but then you might also have persons out there that says, well, listen, I'm in that area. I may not have children in school, but I would like to support the work that you're doing.
I will close with a story. We had a summer program and we needed some immediate funds to house an additional 150 children based on what the school thought was necessary. The Ministry of Education provided the other resources for us. And the individuals that we turned to, the Commonwealth buying the Rotary Club of West Nassau, many churches, Bahamas Harvest, Reverend Davad, Darling, and all those persons, Francis, sorry, they chipped in a matter of days, and we were able to secure funding to ensure that those students were able to attend summer school. Now, again, as I said to you, because of the communication, because of the fact that there are results that comes from the investment, because of the fact that we listen and we hear, and there is communication on both ends, we have information coming in and going out to those individuals. They are always willing to assist us. And we take what we do very serious based on ministry's protocols and procedures. And you can see the things happening on the ground. So the results are there. And so there's always cooperation and collaboration. Thank you so much for having me this morning and for the time you've given to us to help and to share the information.
Perfect. I wish we had more time. I just think this is just so important and wonderful. And I just love the story. And I love it. It brings to mind just one word: community, and the power of community. Eva Hilton Primary School Principal, Mrs. Jermaine Butler, and the President of the PTA, Melissa Ellen Maynard. Thank you so much for being here on Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you for having us.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
First, it's more than just our name, more than just our achievements. It's our nature, and it's where we put our customers. At Bahamas First, we've refreshed our look, but our nature remains the same. We design insurance solutions that protect our customers from life's uncertainties, whatever they may be. We equip you for the future so that you can recover stronger. Bahamas First, what's first for you comes first for us.
Health is the greatest gift. That's where we come in. Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies is a premier distributor of medical equipment, as well as medical and surgical consumables. Our engineers are always on hand, providing top care service that saves lives. We carry a wide selection of over-the-counter and prescription items, IV fluids, and other injections. Our products are state-of-the-art, and our entire team stays on top of cutting-edge technology. With more than 2 decades of dedicated service, Bahamas Medical and Surgical Supplies continues to be a trendsetter and innovator in healthcare. We have set ourselves apart by truly caring for our customers. We understand the intricacies of healthcare, and we produce spectacular results. We cherish our partnerships and nurture our friendships as we continue on our quest to help everyone maintain that wonderful gift of good health. Find us on 9th Fifth Terrace, Centerville, right in the heart of the medical service epicenter of Nassau, Bahamas.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you so much for staying with us. As you might know, we recently hosted the Demystifying COVID-19 webinar on Wednesday with doctors, religious, and community leaders to address concerns from various sectors. The counselors is now very happy to bring you a portion of that meeting.
The TCL Group recently hosted the webinar Demystifying COVID-19 to allow community leaders to engage with experts to answer critical questions and debunk troubling myths.
So, Dr. Burrows, as we observe the information that is circulating about available COVID-19 vaccines, we hear strong concerns from some members of the Christian community that these vaccines are what the book of Revelations refers to as the mark of the beast, or what other biblical texts refer to as an abomination. What would be your response to those perspectives?
When you go to the text in the book of Revelation, it's very specific about what happens, what are the precursors to the mark of the beast, and what is the mark of the beast. And the mark of the beast is clearly stated to be something that is on your right hand or your forehead. The number 666 is also mentioned. And then there are some very important precursory activities that are supposed to happen before the mark of the beast takes place. One of those things is that no one will be allowed to buy or sell, and everyone will be required to bow down and worship the beast and accept the mark before they are allowed to do anything. So to relate that to today, you know, I had to explain to persons that, okay, you may have suspicion about the pharmaceutical industry, you might have suspicion about Bill Gates, you might have suspicion about governmental conspiracies and so on. However, if you want to apply it to the book of Revelation or the Bible, it doesn't line up. So, you know, it's important for individuals who may have that concern to actually go into the scripture in the book of Revelation that talks about it and get clarity.
The government of Bahamas would have recently reached out to the JCNP to create a potential plan to keep junkanoo safe as they begin to return back to the shack. So Dr. Rogers, what advice would you give junkanoos and junkanoo leaders that they could mandate when we eventually get back to the practice of doing junkanoo and going into our shacks? How can we keep our members safe as best as possible?
Thank you for that, Mr. Miller. The first thing is to create a type of bubble environment in the shack. And what I mean by that, so the big pieces that require more than one person working on it, you need to set up a schedule. Set up a schedule for each team, so to speak, to be in the shack alone. For that team, it would be advisable to have a really tight COVID testing schedule, maybe twice a week. You're going to need to put in the shack with the sergeant at arms, just the person who's walking around telling persons, fix your masks. Have your hand sanitizers available. When you walk in, you sanitize. When you walk out, you sanitize. If you have to cough, as far as you can, get out of the environment, sanitize, wash your hands if the running water is available. And even something that you can look at too in the shacks is actually having the fogging device, where it's not producing the moisture, but it allows you to kind of sanitize your area after each shift, so to speak. So these are some of the ways. And of course, I mean, what would help if the persons who are going to be in the shack in that bubble, the majority of them are vaccinated, that helps. And I will tell you why that helps. Because the unvaccinated who gets COVID will be producing millions of viral particles. The vaccinated who may have COVID, a few 100,000. You want to stand next to the guy with the million or the guy with the 100,000. You understand what I mean? So definitely having the testing, if they're vaccinated, as much as possible, doing the bubble, the mask wearing, the hand sanitizing, rigid hand sanitizing, and just working in schedules. I know that's kind of difficult to say, but I mean, at this point, it's a matter of trying to figure out how that's going to work, because we have to make a decision on how we're going to move forward. And junkanoo is definitely something I don't want to see disappear because of COVID, because I'm ready to start again.
The question is, the business owners Arawaki are most concerned about recovering from the socio-economic impact of the pandemic and many lockdowns. our vendors face a lot of harassment from the authorities, while it seems like other businesses are able to carry on with businesses as usual. So my only question is, from a medical standpoint, is there a difference in the COVID-19 be transmitted at a brick and mortar restaurant as opposed to a restaurant at Arawaki? Should our vendors be doing anything extra than the other restaurants to keep our customers safe?
I guess I'll jump in on that Mr. Russell. So I would say there's not, the way I see it is I think that the Arawaki vendors actually have an even greater advantage because most of the dining there is outdoor dining. And if you would recall, when dining was first introduced or reintroduced back into activities that we could participate in safely, outdoor dining initially was what was recommended. And so I think certainly, that already puts the Arawaki vendors, I think at an advantage. Secondly, I would say that there would just need to be protocols put in place to make sure that you have persons where they can be separated, where there's adequate seating, people sitting as if you were in a restaurant, like you're sitting at your table, and maybe set up outdoor on dining tables, dining chairs. Certainly not having persons congregate around a bar, sitting at a bar area, but encouraging them to, we will bring the food or the drinks to you. You find your area. In addition to that, they can also have, hand sanitizers available on the tables or sanitizing stations around. Encourage their waiters and waitresses to make sure that they're wearing their masks at all times, so the people who are dining can feel comfortable with the servers that are coming to bring them food. The disadvantage for them would have been that because a lot of the dining at Arawaki is outdoor dining, it's easy to see. It's easy for them to be seen by anybody driving by, and so you can see when there's congregating as opposed to in the brick and mortar, as you would have said, where a person's on the inside, and so the authorities were not having the option of being able to see them. And so it's a matter of crowd control and proper sanitizing and making sure the servers are wearing masks.
Mr. Dorset, what are some of the concerns that our sports and pop culture enthusiasts have regarding COVID-19?
Thank you. So my questions are going to be centered around youth vaccination. So as we know, once our vaccination rollout began, you had AstraZeneca available to those 18 and above. And now we have options now. You have Pfizer, you have Johnson & Johnson, but Pfizer is still the only option for youth vaccination for those 12 and above. Can you explain possibly to any parents listening why the Pfizer vaccination is the one suitable for kids, and what is the difference between that and the other options?
Okay, I guess Dr. Moxie, I'll take that. Thank you for your question, Ronaldo. The Pfizer vaccine is the one that has done and released the results of most of the clinical trials done in children and adolescents. Initially it was 16 years of age, and now they have released data that shows that it is safe for those 12 to 15 years of age. They've done considerable research, and the data that they've done shows that it's 95% effective, and this to the 15-year-olds have been equivalent to what they've seen in even the 16 and 25-year age group. Pfizer has been one company that has done significant research in vaccinations thus far and released and published research, because they've also done the research in pregnancy and in women who want to have children to ensure that there was no loss of fetus. They were able to deliver healthy babies, have a healthy pregnancy, healthy delivery. And so when we see data coming out from Pfizer and the data is statistically significant in scientific terms, in other words, the amount of persons they use in the trial, the length of time, the follow-ups, then the medical community is usually in agreement once we can see that it is safe and effective.
You can watch the full Demystifying COVID-19 webinar on our TCL Group Facebook page. For Bahamas at Sunrise, this is Suzette Parker.
Hi, I'm Dr. Warner Rogers.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ranga.
Hi, I'm Dr. Valencia Johnson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Munish Sharma.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jazreel Thompson.
Hi, I'm Dr. Bonimy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rajesh Pahawa.
Hi, I'm Dr. Therese Nairn Knowles.
Hi, I'm Dr. Alpheus Alec,
Director of Ambulatory Services at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the consultant surgeon here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm a pediatrician here at Doctors Hospital.
I'm the director of imaging at Doctors Hospital.
An anesthesiologist here at Doctors Hospital.
Infectious diseases physician.
I'm radiologist at Doctors Hospital.
Emergency room physician here at Doctors Hospital.
and I'm clinical director of the Emergency Transport Services and Continuing Medical Education here at Doctors Hospital.
I am vaccinated against COVID-19.
I have been fully vaccinated for COVID-19.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID.
I am fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
And I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID.
I'm fully vaccinated against the COVID-19 virus.
I'm fully vaccinated against COVID-19.
I hope you are too.
Are you?
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 Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you so much for staying with us. We're at the halfway point on this fabulous Friday. I'm Anastasia Palacios.
And I'm Philip Simon, TGIF to you. And thank you for joining us as always.
Indeed, indeed. It's been a great show so far, learning so much about Oaksfield Primary, now Eva Hilton Primary. And Phil, they've always just been an outstanding primary school, ranking so high in their GLAD examinations as a primary school. And so really, it's good to see that parent involvement is there. And this makes sense that they would do so well in terms of our national exams.
Yeah, I just, I get excited about education. That's my mama in me, right? And because it's critical, right? I mean, and you love to see when institutions and groups are getting it right. It's just, like some people say, this is powerful. This is
This is powerful. Indeed, indeed it is. And then of course, loving hearing, Pastor Dave just addressed some of the fears associated with this COVID-19 vaccine, which are very real for some people. And so many people have different reasons why they're not taking it. But one of them is certainly the religious aspect of it. And so great to see that he was able to bring some clarity to that for those who are willing to receive it.
Yeah, I had planned to watch it. Unfortunately, I missed it, but I'm sure I can find that somewhere. Maybe I need to go on the Facebook and the website. I'm sure TCL has it somewhere.
Indeed, it does. It does. And so for those of you who are like Phil and want to know how you can watch it, of course, our episodes are streamed live on Facebook as well. So if you ever need to, you can head on over to Bahamas at Sunrise on Facebook.com. You must be a Facebook member, but you can go ahead there and view our past episodes that have been streamed live, including that segment from Pastor Dave Burrows and those of the Demystifying COVID webinar. Yeah. So we got more to come in the second half of the show.
Yeah, the Association of Physiotherapists are here to talk about Physiotherapy Month. It seems like there's a month, every month has like at least a dozen different claims to fame, but that's wonderful.
Yeah, when it's only 12 months in the year and it's like 12 million things to talk about, everybody's going to have to claim something. So looking forward to learning more about Physiotherapy Month. And we also have Edison Sumner joining us. He's going to be giving us his views on the way forward, given that I think it's now been about 3 weeks since we've had our national elections and our parliamentarians are getting ready to go back to Parliament. So that should be a great conversation as well.
Yeah. But first, Godfrey Burnside, the G-Man with our first look, second look, third look. He's going to look at weather with sunrise.
Weather at Sunrise, brought to you by Bahamas First. What's first for you comes first for us.
Thank you, Phil, and good morning, Bahamas. In your second look at the weather sunrise, we take a look around the tropics, and we have Hurricane Sam at 5 a.m. located 550 miles south-southeast of Bermuda, moving to the north-northwest at 60 miles per hour. Winds are now up to 150 miles per hour, a strong Category 4 hurricane. And then we have Tropical Storm Victor at 5 a.m. located 585 miles southwest of the Cape Verde Islands, moving west-northwest at 12 miles per hour. Winds are up to 60 miles per hour. And these systems do not pose a threat to the Bahamas. Elsewhere, tropical storm formation expected during the next 5 days. On the local scene, high pressure north of the islands will generate moderate to fresh breezes. Also, weak frontal boundary across central Florida will strike south across Grand Bahama up to Bonimy, dissipate by this evening. And we have swells associated with Hurricane Sam will impact the islands, resulting in hazardous beaching and boating conditions. In your marine forecast, you do have a small craft caution in effect. Wednesday, northeast to east at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 6 feet. On Saturday, continue northeast to east at 15-20 knots, seas 4 to 7 feet over the northwest and central Bahamas, 15 knots, seas 2 to 5 feet over the southeastern islands. Those swells could be up to 8 feet. And then on Sunday, northeast east at 15 knots, seas 2 to 5 feet over all the islands, but those swells again can be up to 8 feet. Yeah, tides. You can expect a low tide at 10:14 this morning. Next high tide will be at 4:40 this afternoon. Low gain tonight at 11 minutes past 11. Sunset 6:54 this evening. Rising one at 7:02. UV index 8. Your water temperature 83 degrees Fahrenheit. Honeymoon phase last quarter. Your extended look. Definitely a cool front. High pressure will bring a mix of sun and clouds, but breezy conditions. And there's a chance of a few showers, night thunderstorms, mainly during the afternoon hours. Temperature daytime will be in the upper 80s, at nighttime in the mid-70s. That puts you up in your final look at weather at sunrise. I'm Godfrey Burnside. Back to you, Phil.
Thank you very much, Godfrey. Looking forward to seeing you soon, my brother. So October is Physiotherapy Month, and the Bahamas Association of Physiotherapists would like to increase awareness of the profession by highlighting various specialties, conditions, and treatments. Here to talk with us about this is Dr. DeVonnia Bonimy Lee, who is a doctor of physical therapy and president of the association. Good morning. Welcome to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Philip Simon, and to Bahamas at Sunrise. Yeah,
absolutely.
So, yes.
Absolutely. Glad to have you. You know, one of these things, physical therapy, just before we get into the month and the activities and all the rest of that, how do you summarize that in a few words?
Well, physiotherapy or physical therapists have always been intricately woven into the healthcare frontline, especially now during the global pandemic. Our expertise as movement specialists have kept patients mobile, managing pain and healthy while at home, especially the last 2 years. And physiotherapy has allowed many clients to avoid trips to the hospital, reducing back pain, reducing the risk of falls at home, and improving the quality of life. Physical therapists / physiotherapy, same thing. We work with all functional impairments across the entire lifespan, from birth to maturity, and we work in a variety of settings. So acute care, hospitals, subacute, nursing homes. We've seen also in the Olympics this year, the Tokyo Olympics, both in recreational and elite sports settings.
Yeah, usually when we hear it, it's usually related to injuries or related to athletes, but it's so much more than that. So anyway, October is Physiotherapy Month. You've got I see a lot of things planned. Let's start with a series of newspaper articles.
Yes, so we really want to highlight the skilled and what we're doing as healthcare professionals. So the articles within the newspapers are just to kind of show what we can do and show the public that we see quite popular and common diagnoses such as frozen shoulder, low back pain, and how we manage these symptoms associated with the diagnosis. We're also going to be using educational webinars. We have lunch and learns, group fitness classes, which all highlight what we do as a profession.
Okay, all right. You've got live case studies, I see, and And tell us what that means. And then also, I think you have a series of webinars as well.
So it's going to be a busy month. Week to week, we hope to bring something new to the table. But as it goes through the schedule, every Friday we'll have a lunch and learn, starting off today with KTH, and that's Catherine Taylor-Hennis. She's going to be talking about frozen shoulder. On Saturdays, we'll have this weekend with Elvianne Pinder doing a group exercise class via Zoom for the geriatric or over 65 population. On Sunday, we're going to be taking everyone to church, physically and professionally. So a group of physiotherapists will be visiting a church via Zoom each Sunday, but we'll also be doing our own personal clinical practice sessions at each smaller facility. These are going to be small groups, of course, for our members only. On Monday, we'll do top 5 exercises through Instagram. So follow us on Instagram to find out what we're doing week to week. And Tuesdays are the case studies that you're talking about. That's for us and by us. So our local physiotherapist, we're going to be starting with Catrice Robinson, Grand Bahama, who's going to be talking about, well, she hasn't actually told us yet. So we'll see what she's going to be presenting. But we're using case studies to show how we've been working with the Bahamian public and how what we've been doing has been very helpful and improving the quality of life. On Wednesdays are the webinars with our local medical professionals. We'll be talking about mental health and how that plays along with physical health, and also connecting with other physicians.
Wow, that's interesting. So the body as a whole, you talk about mental health, and of course it's gotten a lot of buzz recently, particularly from an athletic and sports and professional perspective, but all of these things are related. I should have asked when, we dealt with the definition at the beginning of the segment, but how do I know that I need a physical therapist?
In the Bahamas, typically physical therapists are registered with the Health Professions Council, which means that you have to have a referral to see a physical therapist. Okay. So really you have to connect with your physician, your local doctor, your primary care physician. And when you talk to your doctor about issues that you're having, whether it be pain related, neurologically related, skin related, it depends on what's going on with you. You have to have those discussions with your physician, and then they drive that referral process.
All right. So you've got a busy month. I don't know if you've shared everything with us. That's a lot of stuff. There's got to be a place where we can find all of this.
Yes, of course. So we have a website at www.bapt242. We have a calendar on there, but the easiest way to find us is going to be through Instagram. So follow us on Instagram. That's hashtag BAPT242. Bahamas Association of Physiotherapists. And you always want to choose PT, because our promotion this month, of course, for the whole month, is to always choose physiotherapy as a way to manage your pain and ailments.
Is the association just open to physical therapists? Can anybody else join?
It's a good question. So there are lots of our youth in the Bahamas who don't know about this profession. So it's a great way for the youth of the country to also join in. And if they're interested and are in their tertiary level or secondary level education, they can certainly become partial members. We can also have friends of the profession. So if you're interested in supporting us, you can also join our membership in that respect as well. We always will take donations as a nonprofit for the last 20 years. So that's always a way to get involved. But, we're all about movement. And we don't necessarily push pharmacological methodologies as a way to manage pain and symptoms. We want people to move. And so October is definitely going to be all about movement and learning.
All right. Excellent stuff. Besides the church services, are all the other activities online?
Yes, most of the activities are going to be online. The group classes, we may open it up depending on who's interested. It might be just a group of 5 to 8 people outside, and then kind of use that as a Zoom platform as well. But we'll be kind of connecting with a lot of our local facilities here. So KTH Physio is one of them, Paramount Physio, Handling Your Health, Viva Physio and Wellness, Bahamas Physio, Your Neighborhood Physio, and Healing Hands, as well as Genesis Physio. So we might be doing things at the local facilities as well, depending on, guidelines and restrictions.
All right, final question. You mentioned kids physio. Obviously, if it's by referral from your doctor, so physical therapy can be for any age?
Any age, from birth to maturity. So you'll find that, as soon as babies are born, and if unfortunately they are moved to the NICU, physical therapists help with positioning to encourage respiratory function and range of motion, as well as anatomical positioning. So with pediatrics, especially with children who have global delay or issues with functional impairments, this is a great opportunity also to encourage movement and development along the lifespan.
Right, excellent, perfect. Thank you so much, Dr. DeVonnia. Bonimy Lee, Doctor of Physical Therapy and President of the Bahamas Association of Physiotherapists. October is Physiotherapy Month. Okay, I've said physiotherapy a lot of times here this morning. Thank you so much.
I appreciate it. Have a lovely day. Thanks. Nice to meet you.
All right, you're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We will be right back.
Our world has changed. Many businesses have been closed for months with little or no access to their customers until now. Rev Media can help you remain connected to your customers. Our trusted customized advertising packages and personalized consultants will provide your business with immeasurable support during this challenging time. Your customers are already watching. Rev Media can help you to remain connected. Call us today. Let us help you.
Have you heard about Trinity Christian Schools?
We are a family school located on Trinity Way, Stapleton Gardens. We offer quality Christian education from preschool to grade 6. Here are the reasons why you should choose Trinity Christian Schools.
We offer quality Christian education.
We are a family school.
Our teachers provide individual support.
Our class sizes are small.
We offer a safe and happy environment.
Our teachers are caring and experienced.
Join the Trinity family.
We want you to be a part of the Trinity Christian Schools.
Come join us.
We want you to be a part of our family.
Welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise. Thank you for staying with us. We are just 2 weeks into a new government, and there's a lot to be done to rebuild the economy. What is the best way forward? Here to talk with us about this, we're very happy to welcome Mr. Edison Sumner. He's the founder and principal of Sumner Strategic Partners and a board member of the Economic Recovery Committee. Good morning and welcome back to Bahamas at Sunrise.
Good morning. It's always a pleasure to be with your staff. Thank you.
Always a pleasure to have you, Edison. You always bring so much to us in terms of what you teach us and just your vast experience and opinions. And of course, in this new day, there's certainly a lot of things that we need to be discussing. The first question I want to ask is the transition time of a new incoming government a setback for businesses?
No, I don't think it's a step back. I think it's a time for businesses to reassess their relationship with government. It's a time for the business community to now express what their concerns are to the new government so that we can all start hopefully from a blank page, right? And it gives the government a wonderful opportunity, I think, to reset some things so that the issues that were being addressed before under the previous government, and I believe that there was some progress being made there as well, that those issues now can be brought to bear to the current government. And the good thing about this current government also as it relates to business is that you've got a lot of businessmen now who are there sitting around the table. And for all good intents and purposes, the Deputy Prime Minister, as you're aware, also previously served as the chairman of the Chamber of Commerce. So he has an intimate understanding and appreciation for the challenges facing the business community today.
Okay. Now, so many things have happened, Edison, over the past 2 years. First, Hurricane Dorian, which devastated businesses in Abaco and already devastated Grand Bahama. And then, of course, this pandemic. And we know that, lockdowns, curfews, so many things have significantly impacted what people would have done business-wise in the last 2 years. So what do we need to see happening in the economy quickly for Bahamian businesses to start to bounce back?
Well, one of the first telltale signs of the strength or the weakness of an economy is looking at the level of, the level of employment in the economy. How many persons can we get back to work? How many new businesses are we able to start in this pandemic environment? That's going to be a great telltale sign. But of course, our economy is so heavily dependent on tourism as our major industry, and secondly, a little distance behind financial services than retail. So for us to see any significant rebounding in the economy, we have to get our tourist numbers up again. We've got to get heads in beds, as they say. And tourism not only is our major industry, it's also our major foreign currency earner. So for us to see our foreign currency reserves get a good bump up, then we need to see those tourists coming back and spending US dollars within our economy. So the first thing I think that needs to happen is, apart from just doing a general assessment of the economy, which every government does when they come into power, it's going to be, how do we get our major revenue earner back up to the pre-COVID numbers? How do we get tourists to start getting confidence to travel again coming into the country? Once that happens, there are going to be some tremendous spin-off effects coming out of that. But we also need to see, excuse me, how are we going to now get all those businesses that were shut down during the COVID after Dorian, how do we get them back in business? Some of them were just fatal, right? They're not going to come back, unfortunately, but others are limping along and they need a shot in the arm to get them up and running again. Let's do what we can to get those small and medium-sized enterprises back on their feet. And let's encourage the larger companies and the smaller ones to see what we can do, incentivize them to get people employed again in their businesses. When you see companies starting to employ people again, that means that they are regaining confidence in the economy. And once that happens, then I think we're looking at a green light to move ahead with building our economy the way it was before, and hopefully even stronger as time passes.
And is the solution to that then, Edison, stimulus checks or cash injections into these businesses?
Well, that's a part of it. Bearing in mind that not every business that is hurting because they have financial difficulties, right? Mm-hmm. Some of them have access to capital, but there are other challenges that they're facing as well. They may have issues getting permits or getting land that they need to run their businesses, or getting equipment that is needed, having access to the right technical support. So not every challenge that businesses face is a financial challenge, but yes, having the ability to access financial capital is certainly going to be a significant part of that. And the SPDC has been doing a fantastic job at providing this access to capital through their various platforms. But what I would like to see more is more of the capital markets companies also being able to support the work of the SPDC and these small enterprises by providing them with the liquid capital that they need to get into business. I'd like to see more of the commercial banks expanding their small business portfolio to provide more opportunities for businesses to access capital through their platforms. But I'm also pleased to see that apart from the work that we're doing at the Venture Capital Fund, where I have the opportunity to serve there as the vice chair, I like the idea that there are now other venture capital type companies who are coming on the scene, providing the same level of support and relief for these small businesses, providing new access to capital markets for these companies. So that is a great thing. I'd like to see more of that happening as time passes on. But I'm also very pleased that both the previous government and the current government made a commitment to support small business development to the tune of $250 million over a 5-year period. That is a significant boost as opposed to the 50 million that we saw spread over 5 years. Now it's 250 million. So that's going to be a tremendous boost to the small business community.
Excellent. Now, Edison, you mentioned some things there. You talked about, access to land, access to technical services. What are some of those things that you are hoping will be executed under this administration, in addition to what we mentioned just now about regarding stimulus, et cetera? When you think about the ERC, some of the recommendations you put forward, what are some things you are hoping will come to fruition under this government to help businesses in the long term?
Well, the first thing I think we need to do is we made, of course, as you know, about 66 or 68, I thought, fantastic recommendations. But I'd like to also say, before I answer your question directly, that I think it'll be prudent, in my view, for the government now to look at not only the recommendations of the ERC, but also to pull the old recommendations that were made from the NDP as well. And let's see how we can marry these together, pull out the best of both of these documents, and create something now that neither the PLP nor the FNM will claim it's entirely theirs, right? Which, unfortunately, these things become political footballs. But now if we can pull the best ideas from both of these documents and let's see how we can implement them, that's going to be, I think, extremely important. And I'm hopeful that this government and this prime minister will see the value and the prudence in looking at the ERC's recommendation, which I think were fantastic, as well as the NDP. And I had the opportunity to have been involved in both of those bodies of work. But as it relates to how we see things advancing, I still strongly believe, and I've been preaching this particular gospel now for years, I will feel strongly that ICT, the technologies industry, should be developed as the third significant pillar of our economy. Especially after we saw the advent of the global pandemic, everything has been moving towards digitization. People are now working more from home or remote away from the office. I still feel that the future development of the Bahamas and the things that the government ought to pay attention to, in my view, early, would be how do we now develop a new industry in ICT and then also in manufacturing. I think that the attention should be paid strongly to areas like Freeport, being the technology hub for the country. And while tourists will always be the underbed for everything we do, I think that there are opportunities now to start developing new industries. Grand Bahama is obviously, for me, the place that we develop technology. Andros is a place for us to develop agribusiness, right? We have Bamsi down there already, but I don't think it's seeing its full potential yet. But and then there are other islands like the Abacos, Exumas, who already have an economy with the second home industry, et cetera. So I think that we should now be paying attention to those areas that would bring near immediate relief to businesses in the country, to the economy of the country. I think getting small businesses back up and running should be an immediate focus of the government, because the small businesses in any economy is the lifeblood, or are the lifeblood of that economy, right? The big businesses are there, they do what they have to do. But look at it, when you have a place like a large, big box operation and they decide to furlough staff, that has can have a very deleterious impact or effect on an economy, as opposed to having one major employer who employs 12,000 people, as opposed to having 1,000 small businesses who employ 10 people each. The impact isn't as great when you start to downsize and let people go. So I think the attention should be paid now on business development. But also, we've seen in the last 2-3 years, especially, that the country has been downgraded several times. So I think there has to now be a deliberate approach, and I believe that the government's already started this trend, and the previous government started working it as well, that there has to be this trend now to get the country's sovereign debt rating back up to where it needs to be to become more attractive for foreign direct investors to want to put their money in the Bahamas to open businesses here. And the final point I want to make on that, as it relates to getting businesses running, is I think we need to now hit the road again, whether it's through digital shows or whether we have to actually fly into various places, but we have to hit the road again to start to attract more direct investments in the Bahamas. Foreign direct investors needs to come in again, but we also now need to start appealing to the domestic investors, because there's still a lot of liquidity in this market. There's still a lot of money to be spent, but I think we now need to take this economy to a place where people are now feeling a lot more confident in the outcomes that we have and our projections, so that they are more comfortable putting and investing money in our economy. So those are some of the areas I think that we should pay some immediate attention to.
Edison, thank you so much for sharing just, a wealth of knowledge this morning. And I think that so many of us can take so many things away from this. I'm very hopeful that some of those persons now in this new administration were listening and paying attention, and looking forward to your wise counsel over the years. So thanks again for joining us.
Thank you so much. My pleasure as always.
You're watching Bahamas at Sunrise. We'll be right back.
Doctors Hospital is proud to introduce the Loyalty Advantage Membership Program, or LAMP. LAMP offers medical service discounts to new and existing Doctors Hospital patients. With membership starting as low as $20 per month, LAMP benefits include fee waivers for insured patients, discounts on inpatient and outpatient services, access to free imaging services, and much more. For a full list of benefits or to sign up for LAMP, visit doctorshosp.com/LAMP. Doctors Hospital, trusted and best care now. Isn't your health worth it?
Well, folks, that's going to do it for us here on Bahamas at Sunrise. We thank you so much for tuning in. And we do want to remind you again to save that date, Thursday, October 14th, the Abaco Business Outlook, the 17th annual one will take place. And our keynote speaker will be the Right Honorable Prime Minister Philip Brave Davis. And so we hope you will join us for that.
All right. And we look forward to a wonderful weekend. We encourage you to continue to be safe, but, enjoy the moment. See you on Monday.
Bye.